inspirational. Turn your radios. Sit back, relax, catch the vibe, have fun tonight on the Four Corner Show. Sit back, relax, catch the vibe, have fun tonight on the Four Corner Show. If you want that grown and inspirational, then turn your radio to the Four Corner Show. Hot and spicy topics, come enjoy the show. So let's get personal on the Four Corner Show. Relax, catch the vibe, have fun tonight on the Four Corner Show. You gotta sit back, relax, catch the vibe, have fun tonight on the Four Corner Show. If you want that inspirational, then turn your radios.
Hello, everyone. How you guys doing?
Hello. All right.
Man, that song, oh my goodness.
Always fire. I love it. I love it.
Goodness.
Yes, LePage and Lawyer and Tiffany and Antone. They did the doggone thing on that intro.
Did they?
Yes, they
Oh
did.
my goodness.
So we welcome you guys here today to Four Corners with Pepper Thomas, along with Mark A. Walker and Michael Upshaw on this beautiful, cold, wet, snowy, I don't know what part of the country you're in, but it is it's global warming. Okay. So
Yes, for sure.
I don't know what today is supposed to be, but it's cold. It's cold where I'm at. Is it cold where you guys are at?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
But
Yeah.
but y'all are in the east, so
Yeah.
it's always cold for Texans because it's
Mhm.
cold.
So how do the Texans even use the word snow?
We use snow in a way that when it sleets or snows, we shut down everything. That's how us Texans use snow. It means you don't operate, you don't go to work, you don't go to school. It's like because we don't have the salt, we don't have the things that are required on the highway, so we don't know, we can't drive it. We don't have 4-wheel drive. Well, we have pickups, but not everyone has. Well, everyone has a pickup. Yeah, did I just say that? Yeah.
Everyone doesn't know how to drive the pickup in the weather, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, they don't know how to drive when it's raining, so I don't. It's always an issue. So, you guys, thank you for joining us. Please subscribe if you're on Facebook right now and wondering. Sharon is funny. LOL, snow. Yeah, girl, snow. It's snowing somewhere. But if you are joining us for the first time, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is Four Corners with Pepper Thomas. It is Four Corners and a W, Pepper Thomas, and subscribe. And that way you will know when we come on Tuesdays or whenever we pop on, because it's a pop-up show, but we do it twice a month. And we welcome you here today. And you can go to Four Corners with Pepper Thomas on YouTube to check out our past interviews that we have had. We've had some great artists on here, great musicians, writers, engineers, all of that. So just check us out. So first question. How was your weekend, Mark?
It was wonderful. I was busy, kind of all over the place. Atlanta with Will Downing on Saturday evening. We opened up for Jeffrey Osborne. That was an incredible show. And then Sunday we were in Collingwood, New Jersey with your girl, Carol Riddick, Gerald Veasley. It was a great show. They opened up for us. Of course, Carol sang with Will Downing as well. It was a great weekend. Good
so
weekend.
did you woo?
Hey, he did. Let me tell you, that guy still got it. Jeffrey Osborne is still incredible.
It's like, yeah, Jeffrey, we can woo. Yeah. Can you woo? Yeah. So, Michael, how was your weekend?
My weekend was great, and got to see my brother here, Mark, with Will and Randy Bolin, Gerald Veasley, and everybody. I mean, it was a great show, Carol. I mean, she sang her heart out. Wait a minute, I have to sneeze. I have to cough. Eagles. I'm sorry. Eagles.
We need some water. Yeah. Have some water.
They played this weekend, right? Who did they play? They beat us.
You know what? It was they played Baltimore, and hey, with a team. I'm telling you. Yeah. maybe Dallas. Well, they did win last week. You know,
They won twice last week. They beat the Commanders on Sunday,
yeah,
and they won on Thanksgiving Day. So Cowboys on a roll.
Yeah,
See, your Cowboys are doing something, Pepper.
yeah.
They are not my Cowboys. Okay. Let's get that straight. They are not. They ain't my boys. They ain't my Cowboys. They ain't even my cowgirls. Okay. So let's get it straight. Let's get it straight. So yeah, and I had a great weekend.
Yeah, how was your weekend, Pepper?
My weekend was great. It was good. You guys, if you get a chance, I went to see a movie this past weekend on Sunday. It is Luther Vandross, Never Too Much.
Wow.
It's not in every theater. So if you see it, go see it. It is a must see. Just to see the life of Luther Vandross and how they captured behind the scenes at the concerts in his house, just talking to people. And it takes you back to the very beginning, because there were some things I thought I knew about Luther, but I was like, what? And I can't give it away because my mouth was hanging going, he's on that song. You got to be kidding me. And so Valerie Simpson is speaking, Jamie Foxx, Clive Davis, everyone is speaking in the movie, but it's a great documentary. And from the beginning of his career with his dad. His dad was a singer, and it takes you to the very end of him passing. It was. So take your tissues and be ready. And they said that they are showing it on CNN on New Year's Day.
Oh, really?
CNN and Sony own the films, but I don't understand why it's not being advertised. So yeah, but if you can sit in the theater before you see it on TV, it's just a better experience to hear the sound and everything.
Great.
And then I got to on Sunday, I got to see Mark and everybody on video. I was like, it was like, yeah. And I got to see, I hadn't seen Mike Hamm in forever. And I was like, it's like a little big party. Like, so it was cool. It was.
Now, did you have to play in church? I mean, because we do know you are a musician, a master musician.
I did.
Piano, organ.
I wouldn't go all. I wouldn't say all that. Now, let's back up. 17th district, 12th district, whatever you call me. I don't know. Yes, I did. I did, and I ran out and went straight to the theater so I could get there in time. Yeah, but it was
great.
It was
weekend.
Great weekend. Great weekend.
Good.
Yeah. So y'all, we are here, and we thank you for joining us. Let's see, we got some people watching. Thank you for joining us on Four Corners. We have today a guest. Her name is Sharon Lia, and y'all, she is ready. Just in hearing her conversation just before we came on, she has a lot of energy. She has so much energy that I think this might be the time y'all gonna see me sit back and I'm going to listen. Y'all are like, really? Yeah, sure, right. Seriously, because her energy is just she's full of life, and just listening to her, I was like, she has some wisdom too. So she enjoys living. That's what I got from her. So everyone, let me introduce to you. Her name is Sharon Lia. Let's welcome her to Four Corners. Hey, Sharon, welcome. Hello. Let's give her a hand clap, right, everybody? We welcome you here today, and thank you for wanting to be on Four Corners. You have a lot of stuff going on. Like, you are everywhere. So just honored that you took the time out to come on.
It's absolutely my pleasure. You are all amazing people, and I mean, thank you for inviting me. And I can't wait. This is going to be so much fun.
You're welcome. So, Mark.
Oh, I'm in awe from the the pre-interview. I thought it was gonna be Mike interviewing her first, but hey, so Sharon, we love the project. Let me first say that. And but like our listeners, we ask all our listeners they want to know your humble beginnings. There's no wrong way of saying it. Tell us a little about you as a person, how you kind of got into the music, your upbringing, whatever's on your heart to say.
Let me get the cobwebs out. Hold on. Well, there's so much to say. So thank you for that question. I am a humble musician. It's been on my heart my whole life, and fight it as I may. There was no possibility of me not being a musician, a singer, a songwriter. I've had several different things that have happened in my life that brought me just smack dab right into it, filling me with the hope and the confidence and fighting back the doubt and all of that stuff that happens, when you're a musician. I think with all musicians, we are all in that field. It is on your heart, and you can't really say no. Like, right? Am I right? It's visceral. When it's there, it's a calling on your life. And, as a musician, maybe the people who are watching aren't necessarily musicians. And just so it's there. It's on your heart. So, I grew up in New Jersey, and, I used to write for a newspaper. I was in the Miss New Jersey pageant. I went to the Aaron Copland School of Music. I went and got a degree in graphic design as well. So I'm a musician and a graphic designer. I'm also an artist. And I've done some great, incredible projects. And I love music. I love people. I do love life. Thank you, Pepper, for saying that. I really believe that you have to be full of joy and give that light to people. And I just want to make the world a better place, even if it's just one person at a time. So I've been through a lot of issues in my life that have shaped who I am, of course. So, that's the short story.
Okay, I'll ask one more question because I know that my tag team partners are going to really open up. This is probably going to be a tearjerker type situation. So I got my tissue over here. Listening to some of your songs, they seem like stories. And like I said, it's no wrong way of saying this. So you can answer. I think when the listeners start listening to your music, you got versions like symphonic versions of your music. So it's like, it's not, even though your label is with contemporary blues.
I'm not labeled as contemporary.
on the I think one of the records or something.
I'm on a Grammy nominated.
Project,
I was a guest on a contemporary blues album.
But your voice doesn't fit none of that. Your voice is like almost like universal is what I'm trying to say. I should say that early. And where did all this inspiration come from with these songs? So it sounds like life stories mixed with a lot of things that's happened. How do you come up with these songs? These aren't regular songs.
No, they're not. Thank you. And I don't mind that they're different. First of all, I am deeply moved by music, by other people's music. And I am mostly moved by the epic music of the movie soundtrack. That's my passion. So, and even Broadway to a certain degree, like Andrew Lloyd Webber. So the first song I ever wrote was after watching E.T. I had a disc, compact disc. I put it in when I was little, and I put it in this whatever. And I got to the last song, and in the movies, the music was so just like, it just got to me. And that's the way I write. I write this, I don't know where it comes from. It's got to come from the divine creator. And I want to tell a story, whether it's mine or a story I envision someone else's story to be. And that's really where it comes from, and I like that big, epic, ethereal, driving, but emotional with minor chords and different, I can't think of the word right now. It's in classical music, movements. So there's different movements in the music, and I try to put it all together and make it come out so that it could be mainstream and popular and really touch people, So all the songs are symphonic. They're symphonic rock. They're epic symphonic rock. This album, EXPANSE, is sci-fi inspired. symphonic rock. And then we did the first, I know we'll probably talk about it, but we did the first part of the album, which is on one side, it's one disc. And then the second disc is symphonic versions with just me and the band, no drums, no heavy guitar, just the symphonic vocal, the violins and all the symphonic parts, and some extra stuff we sprinkled in. And then that's five versions. And there's another 10 that's purely symphonic. So when I went back in, I took out the vocals and then I replaced them with sound effect piano, like a piano like lead instead of the vocal lead. And the challenge with that was that everything was already in the mix, right? You probably know this. Mm-hmm. You cancel. So if I put a piano in after I've already I already played piano in the song, you can't use piano. You can't use the violin or the viola. You can't use those things. So I found this really great, like sci-fi sound. I used my tilt wheel and the pendulate and all the different things to create a really sci-fi, symphonic, cinematic, instrumental version. And so whatever your mood is, you can listen to the vocal versions or the symphonic vocal or the instrumental, depending on your mood. So there's a deeper story as to why I focused on symphonic rock, but that could be for another time. Or I honed my style so that I could serve people that liked this kind of music, because when you're all over the place, if you're doing pop and rap and R&B and country, and like, people are confused, fans would be confused. I find that even with my children's album, but I want everyone to have the gift of music. So I did a children's album and a book for kids, and it's beautiful and blah blah blah. But it was to really hone a style as far as this particular album.
Okay. Well, I want to go back to, I know we're talking about the new project, but let's go back to 2021.
Okay.
Because it's all about you. You know what song that is?
No. It's all about you. Oh.
Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. It was hard to believe that I needed you. I was sure of myself till you appeared. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. You became part of me so easily. Fill my life with a joy that I've never known. I love the way you're loving me. Don't let this feeling go. I love the way you're loving me. Come on and take control. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. Can it be I found love finally? This feeling inside that I want to heal. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. to my world. I wanna welcome you. Welcome to my world. I need you here with me. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. I wanna make you mine. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world.
I tell you, I'm feeling some Donna Summer. I'm feeling some Diana Ross.
Ross,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Wow.
like,
Yeah.
ah.
I had a publicist once who said, "You're like if Donna Summer and Pat Benatar had a baby."
I forgot about Pat Benatar. Yeah.
But that was before Expanse happened. This
Wow.
was a little earlier in my career. And when we did this record, we wanted it to have that Philly 70s soul that came out of Philly at that time,
Yeah.
you know? So, yeah. And this is the one that I added music and lyrics to. So it was a very, really special. I look at it like I'm a bridge to the past, you know?
Right.
Bringing Linda Creed's music to now. She's not here anymore. Epi's not here anymore. And we were some of the greatest musicians too were on this music. So yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Sharon, I want to thank you so much for agreeing to coming on Four Corners. You know, it's always good to see you. And congratulations on your new release, Expanse, and wishing you the very best. That song does sound like a Donna Summer song. I mean,
Yeah.
that had that Philly sound to it. Absolutely. Could you elaborate on, to our viewers, about the definition of symphonic rock and sci-fi fantasy, as well as how these two genres of music complement each other? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, sure. That's a really great question. Number one, thank you again for inviting me. And I love knowing you and, being a friend, really, even though we don't see each other very often, we're musicians and, it's in the heart. So that's a really great question. Sci-fi, which is becoming less sci-fi every day, but let's say science fiction, right? It taps into the mystery of the unknown. It taps into our desire to explore, discover, our fascination with mystery. It's not in your face, it's mystery. So Expanse is about the expanse beyond the stars of all of those things. But Expanse is also about the expanse within our souls. Imagine the capacity that you have within yourself, in your thinking, in your faith, in your love, in your anger, in your contemplation, in your losses, in your wins. Like the capacity that we have within ourselves is also not measurable, right? So the expanse is not measurable and what's inside is not measurable. Now, I know that's very deep, but the way that I looked at the music was I wanted the music to have a level of mystery. I wanted the lyrics to have mystery. I wanted you to be able to follow the story in a way that it would relate to you. So one of the ways that I feel we can build mystery and tension is with the arrangement of the music. And to get that big blockbuster sound, you need to have an orchestra, But to be true to my roots as a Donna Summer, Pat Benatar, Evanescence, Nightwish, Delain, ELO, there's all these influences. I needed to have that edgy rock guitar and the driving drums, you know, and so and that's, I mean, that's basically how that all worked out. You know, the album takes you from well, there's a little teaser that sets you up so you know, you feel like you're in a shuttle going up into outer space. The album is about finding purpose, and then the love of a lifetime and the adventure of risking your heart, like risking your heart to fall in love, you know, just risking your heart being bruised to fall in love with someone. Like, what would it be like if we just let go of our fears and just said, I want to fall in love with someone, you know? So it takes you from love and loss to adventure, to breaking chains and liberation and believing in yourself, and the contemplation of, like, you know, why do I have things on my heart? And, you know, I would love to probably just, even if I took you through each song and said, yep, this is what this one's about, because it really takes you through all of the things that make us human. So this is like a handshake to the universe of, like, hey, this is what it is to be fully human. Like, if they were to get this record, which, by the way, there's talk about it going up on a space expedition to be stored in a gallery on the moon.
Oh, wow.
And so, you know, that's another thing. Like, I think to myself, like, what would I want to tell the universe about humanity? And it's about love and loss, and it just what it means to be human. Joy. I mean, there's joy, there's remembrance, you know? So, yeah. And it's all wrapped up into a project that if you're listening to it, you may not even like know this. Mm-hmm. It's also consumable. I wanted it to be something that people could listen to and just put the headphones, like I told you, Michael, you got to put your headphones on or sit in your studio. You have to listen from start to finish. It's an experience, which we do hope to bring to planetariums and big stages with a fully immersive, because it's a fully immersive project with books and all that kind of stuff.
You know, and I think a lot of times as songwriters, you know, we all write songs, Mark Pepper, and, you know, we all write music. And I think a lot of times we, as musicians sometimes, or songwriters, we'll stay locked, focused in on one thing. But music is like, you know, like a good dish. A good song is like a good dish that you just add all these different spices to it. And I think sometimes we need to think out of the box.
Yes.
And you can combine, I really believe that if we wanted to mix country and Western with R&B and maybe some jazz to come up with a, you know, something different, I think it attracts more people. And, you know, and this is what when I listen to your music, there's so much going on, but it fits together and it works. So
it was 4,000 hours, 4 years and 4,000 hours to put this.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
wow.
The album is, I always say, this is the album that almost wasn't. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we could talk about that, but yeah, you're right. It is. It's, and you could really go wrong if you're making a pot of sauce and you throw every spice in there, but you're going for an Italian dish. You might end up with chili. Like, so this is, you know, this is the delicate dance as an arranger, and you have to have vision. You have to be very clear about what your vision is, you know. And sometimes you can throw some stuff at it. You'd be like, I think this might work. You know, when you're in the studio, a lot of times you can go horribly wrong. So I wouldn't recommend just throwing everything in, but, you know, you can experiment a little bit. And I'll tell you, sometimes with a song, like probably once or twice in my career, I started a song and then scrapped it and went like, let's start all over again, you know?
Right. So one other question I wanted to ask you. I know you brought up a name, Linda Creed, which anybody that's from Philadelphia, you know, wherever, that really only know about songwriters.
Yeah.
She was a phenomenal songwriter, doing songs like Bet You By Golly Wow for the Stylistics, and Life is a Song, worked singing for Teddy Pendergrass, and I mean the list goes on. She's with many people. What was your connection with Linda Creed?
It's kind of a long story, but cosmically, she had breast cancer, and she wrote The Greatest Love of All. Of course, we all know that song.
Mm-hmm.
And I never thought in a million years I'd come anywhere near anybody that had anything to do with The Greatest Love of All.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of people in my life that came into my life were working with Stephen Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
And so they saw a talent in me and brought me to his house for an audition, which was like all the platinum and gold records on the wall, and and I auditioned for him and knocked it out of the park. Those were my producer's name, their words, not mine. And so that's the connection. I didn't know Linda. And then I played at Collingswood, just like Mark was saying earlier. Collingswood, we did an event, and I did the Linda Creed music, and and that's basically, my connection. And then I had breast cancer, so yeah. And from that and my musical career and whatnot is how I started Ladies Who Rock for a Cause. So, it's funny how your life just weaves. It's a path.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Pepper?
Well, Sharon, I think you've been looking at my notes, and I really wish that you would leave the room so I can look at my notes, because I was going to say that about the breast cancer. I was like, dang it, I had my notes right here. So I'm going to mention it anyway. So you're this dedicated philanthropist, right? You're the CEO of a company called Ladies Who Rock for a Cause, which is a nonprofit. And you founded it. It provides temporary assistance to women facing life-changing crisis. What did you learn, since you are a breast cancer survivor? What did you learn during that, and how did music help you?
So I always get emotional. I was going for my second day of radiation. Mm-hmm. And when you walk in there, you're scared. There was a book on the table, and it was like all this artwork and photography from family members of people who had cancer or cancer patients. And it was all breast cancer related. All of it, this whole thing was. And I'm the first day I went, it was like these two giant refrigerators were there, and they go around, and you have to be marked up with like a tattoo, and you're not allowed to move. And so the second day I went in, there's this book I'm looking at, and there's one picture. It's a woman. She's got railroad track scars on her chest, right? And I was heartbroken about the effect of cancer on everyone, really. So I went into the room and I sat under this thing, and I was in tears, and I wasn't allowed to move. So I was laying on this table, and tears were coming out of my face. I was brokenhearted for everyone who's ever gone through cancer. When I got out, I had gotten a bunch of text messages, and my publicist at the time asked me if a woman reached out to her, and she was not a musician. My publicist was a musician's publicist. Mm-hmm. This woman reached out to her and said, I am not a musician, but I would love for your help in publicizing my need for financial assistance. I'm a mother of 4. I've got stage 4 breast cancer. And her reply was, well, I don't represent people with cancer, but she reached out to me and she said, I know you have a heart for people, and I just thought I would tell you about it. And I said, well, it's funny because I have been wanting to use my voice, which I had to fight very hard for, not just in health, but in a personal relationship, an abusive relationship, which I don't really talk about a lot. but I had to fight for my voice. And I was getting into a position where I could help. And I also have all these fabulous, wonderful people that are musicians, just like you guys, you know, we meet each other and we connect. And I wanted to bring women together. And I thought, you know, a lot of times when you go to a concert, love the men, don't get me wrong, but you try to pick out some artists and like 90% of them were dudes and you only have one girl. So I thought, how nice would it be as if I gave a platform to women to use their voices to help other women who are in need. So it's so multifaceted because now we have a platform. Women can use their voices because not everybody can just run a foundation. Like, you know, so give them a platform and then the proceeds of the concerts will help women in need. And that's basically how it was born. And we're coming up on our 10-year anniversary next year.
Wow.
It was a lot because I went through the cancer and a lot of other things that, you know, would definitely try the spirit of somebody. And it would be very easy to break someone's spirit. And I am a person who can testify, I guess, that you have to stay the course. The sun always comes up the next day. You may go to bed with tears in your eyes, but every day is another day. And I have faced the hardships. And I know other people have too. Music saved me. Music always saves me. And it saves other people too. So I pour a lot of the this, that, and the other into the music. And it's a great way to be creative and put something out into the universe that's beautiful. And I'm very strongly aligned with putting out something that's beautiful. And I don't mean frilly and pretty. I mean beautiful in the heart, where the heart is coming from. Because Feel It in My Bones is not a pretty song. I mean, it's a pretty song, but if you guys get a chance to listen to that one, that is raw and it's about liberation. But anyway, so music has the ability to heal and to unify.
Well, with that being said, let's go to this album, Expanse. And you know, I thought that maybe someone would ask, what does that name mean? Or what does it mean? But you can tell us when we come back, because I want to play, since Mark mentioned the symphonic, I was going to play the light, the regular version, because I love the words and it's about the light, you know, and you're like, what is it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to play the symphonic version of the light, y'all. This is Sharon Lia.
There's no lyrics in the symphonic one. Is there?
No.
There's no lyrics.
No lyrics.
Yeah.
So
number 11 of the light is the radio version where there are lyrics.
Okay, so let me go to number 11. Okay, so let me go over here. Thank you for that information.
That's it's a lot. There's 26 tracks, so I'm like, I'm gonna help out a little.
You're like, let's go to the right one. Okay, let me go over here. Okay. So I'll ask a question while I'm looking for it. So the questions I had. So what would you tell an artist who wants to do their own thing, want to present this album that is not like the industry wants them to do? What would you tell them? Would you tell them to go for it? Or would you say, is it something that you want to do? What would you tell them to do?
Okay. So that's a really great question.
Okay.
And it's a loaded one, right? If a musician is a musician because they are called in their heart to make music, because it's this thing they can't deny, then it's a visceral motivation. And if it's a visceral motivation for making music, then you have to follow your vision. Now, as a business person, let's just say you follow your heart. If you want to put out music and you're not worried about whether it's going to sell 1 million records or whether the whole world gets to see it, and you're making it as a self-edifying, filling of your own heart for doing it, then do that. If you're going to try to be a business and make a business out of it, you've got to find a way to engage listeners and draw them into the experience. So, I will always tell an artist, go for it, because you cannot win the fight if you're not in the ring.
Oh, I like that.
I've lived by that mantra my whole life.
You cannot
Love that. Yeah, I love that.
That's a
win
great
the fight if you're not in the ring.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You may need to find out about patent.
Copyright that one.
Copyright that one.
Put it on your shirt.
Yeah. Make some t-shirts, some shirts, and
I have a few sayings that have carried me in my life, and that's a big one. And yeah, I do have a whole merch store, by the way. I don't know if you know this, but and that should be a t-shirt.
Wow. Okay. So I found the song. So here is The Light, y'all. Let's check it out right here on Four Corners.
Unstoppable energy by design. By this light is lifted up. It's the light that gives us hope, that lives inside of you and me. It's the gift of love again, my greatest need. We When the shroud of darkness fades, when out your hand and I'll set you free. Open up your mind and let him lead. Let him lead. There's a light inside there. If you reach it out, it'll set your eyes on it. There is a light inside of you and me. There is a light. There is a light that breathes inside of you and me. There is a light. There is a light he gave to you and me. I see. Each alone a satellite, he'll let you see you're free. He'll let you see you're free. Inside of you and me.
Beautiful. Oh, okay, there you are.
Yeah.
I hit your button accidentally. I'm sorry, Sharon. I was like, Sharon is not talking. I can't hear her.
I said thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So how did the title of the album come about?
The album was going to be called Live Out Loud
Okay.
for the song I Will Remember, which I wrote for my sister after her passing. She was 26. And I was trying to design the album cover, and I'm like, Live Out Loud is great, but I'm like, the whole album isn't about just the song, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you carry on, you keep making the music. And I had written Blue Skies, and Blue Skies was on a piano that I had just acquired, which is a whole other story. I saw it in a vision years ago and I drew it. And then many years later, I saw a picture of it and I had to go get it. One of the lines of lyric in Blue Skies is in this expanse with no dimension. The song Blue Skies is about leaving Earth and looking down at the planet and seeing all of creation in all its wonder and majesty and beauty, and being in awe and wonder by it, right? And so when you think about standing on the precipice of peace in that absolute expanse with no dimension, that was a lyric in the song. And I was like, I want this to be sci-fi, cinematic, symphonic rock. And I'm trying to, I Will Wait is about a woman whose husband goes off to a war in space, so like there's all the elements. And I said, expanse. That's it. And then, well, I can either let you ask the question, or I could just answer it. But that's where the word expanse comes from, because as we were talking about before, the expanse beyond the stars to the expanse within our souls. Yeah.
I like. All right. Nice. So how many albums have you put out, Sharon?
Well, this is my third studio album with my band.
Okay.
And I have a children's album and I have the Linda Creed album.
Okay.
So 5, I guess.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, now Sharon, after after recording this album, because there are 26 tracks, you said,
yeah.
Right? So now, are you currently working on another project right now, or did you take a break after?
Once that's a great question. Well, once we were finally done, I had recorded my last vocal, actually the last keyboard part By the way, when I was doing the keyboard parts, I realized my range especially on the light. I'm like all the way down here in the beginning, and then I'm playing the piano and my hand is all the way up at the top. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I didn't realize the number of notes in between. Really was a good exercise, playing your vocal on an instrument. It was so all encompassing, and it became such a labor. It became a really hard labor, honestly. And I mean, I'm not complaining, but it was like, it was like time to make the donuts. Like it was rough.
Wow.
And then I was working on these books I showed you earlier, and all the album art and everything. And we were exhausted, worn out, and stressed out. So we pretty much relaxed. Even though then you're promoting and you have your publicist and you're doing interviews and you're trying to join playlists and then get on the Grammy ballot and then run a Grammy campaign. And we are just now settling a little bit, and we are tinkering with some new songs. So
yeah.
The little backstory on EXPANSE is that in 2020, COVID hit. I had just put out The Sum of Us. I worked with David Ivory on that, actually. I had released The Sum of Us. It was great. Deepak Chopra tapped in. He loved it. He shared it as his Spotify pick. And that was really a blessing. 2021 rolled around, and in November, our anniversary is November 11th. We talked about this, me and Michael. Rick and I both went into the hospital for COVID, and I was in there for 4 days, but Rick was in ICU and PICU for 46 days.
Wow.
46 days. And every day the doctors told me, today could be the day, you need to prepare yourself. So obviously we weren't thinking music. I didn't put up one decoration. We didn't celebrate our anniversary or Christmas or Thanksgiving or New Year's Eve or just nothing. Mm-hmm. And it was the hardest thing, really. Mm-hmm. Every day the doctor's telling me today could be the day. And he fought, and some of these stories could be their own stories, things that happened to him, spiritually in the hospital, and God brought him through. And that just came out of my mouth by accident, because not trying to, but God brought him home. And he was on a oxygen tank, and he had to walk around with the hose. And, one day he says to me, so we started Invisible before I got sick, right? We started with Invisible, the song Invisible. And he said, we really got to get back into the studio. What'd he say? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Right. So that was 2022. So we started in 2020 with Invisible, worked on it until 2021, had all these festivals and everything else. He got deathly ill, and we didn't get back to it, so EXPANSE almost didn't happen. And I'd like to tell you one other thing about EXPANSE. And Pepper, you started to ask the question before. Mm-hmm. So the logo, I'm just going to show this to you guys. I don't know if you can see that. Mm-hmm. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
yes.
See EXPANSE, which is purposely spread out, right, to indicate how expansive EXPANSE is. Mm-hmm. In the center is light. In the center of the A.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, I see it.
All right. It's a little hard to see. And then underneath here is Morse code. Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
That and everything on this album is symbolic. This is the gate that's in Feel It in My Bones. There's the doves. There's a lot on this artwork that is symbolic. But anyway, the Morse code is embrace the light. And ultimately, this album is about searching for purpose and finding the light.
Mhm.
And that's why the album closes with the light. So, and that's the light that's in the A of the Expanse. So
Mm.
that was
Nice.
that was the thing. That was the thinking.
Okay.
Wow.
Very in depth.
Yeah.
All the information on this project is thought provoking. It's not like you just put it together.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I encourage. So I don't know how long we have, but the first song is called "Find Something to Believe In," and that is a fun song about, you should grow up but never grow old, and never give up on your dreams,
Mhm.
and keep searching. And then "I Will Wait" is a story about love, being separated from love and waiting for it to return, and how many of us would be committed to keeping the fires burning. But when you really love someone, you will keep those fires burning.
Mhm.
Then there's Invisible. And Invisible is an incredible song about how we feel unseen. But it's also about the veil. And it's about living with the scars that sometimes people put on each other in not being seen in each other's eyes, right? It's about recognizing also if you're in an abusive relationship. And then ultimately, it's about finding out that when you feel invisible, it's oftentimes less about you and more about where someone else is and what their capacity is for the world around them. You don't know what they're going through or how they feel. It's just, and then we go into Love You Forever. Love You Forever is just simple. It's about undying commitment, and Risk It All is about what would happen if we just let ourselves fall in love, and I'd risk my heart being bruised just for the thrill of falling for you. It's real simple. Then there's the song I Will Remember that I wrote for my sister who passed away, and her impact on my life. And how many times have we lost someone? I'm sure we can all say we know someone that's passed away that made an indelible mark. And she not only did that, it was the first song I recorded. I'm not going to tell you how many years ago. I had to fight and struggle to get to a studio, and I had to sneak around. I know it's not like I had, an extra whatever relationship. And I got into a studio and recorded the song, and it sat on a shelf. And my team said, you really got to get that song on the album. And I wrote a new part called Live Out Loud. Because of you, I learned to live out loud. I learned to use my voice. So, then there's Put It On My Heart, The Light. And I'm sure I'm forgetting one, but you get it. It's, Feel It in My Bones. Feel It in My Bones. You have to listen to the lyrics on that one.
Okay.
That one will definitely make your head spin. And then if you want to send me a text message and be like, Shar, you clarify that one for me? Because that one is about liberation and the courage to break free, and the heartache of that. But the liberation, the freedom, and we could get into a whole topic about freedom, and the chains that bind us, and how when you break free, the way that the rest of your life looks, as hard as that part might have been, is going to be filled with like the love and the joy that you deserved, that should be in your life and stuff like that. So yeah. It's rocking too. Again, we're going to be in a nice magazine called Power Play Rock and Metal magazine. It's coming out in the UK in January, and it's going to be on all the UK music stores' shelves. And of all the songs they went with Feel It in My Bones.
Wow.
So I was like, all right, yeah,
We'll take it.
we'll take it.
you know, I want to share something. That's amazing what you just said about being captive. And I've been writing quotes for like the last two years or so. And I had this conversation with Pepper because I wanted to find out, you know, a way of getting it, you know, that was copywritten, you know, and put them on mugs and shirts or whatever. And I had a quote, so I'm only, you were the first people who are going to hear it. And that's what it deals with. And I said that we need to embrace forgiveness and release the hurt caused by others. When you forgive, you liberate a captive. And once that captive is free, you'll discover that the true prisoner was yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing. That was confirmation of some other things I'm thinking about as well.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Feel it in my bones. You know, it's not my story, but it's the story of two people that I love. And their struggle was to get away from a toxic parent. A toxic parent who wanted to basically destroy the other one. And it was very hard for the children to extricate themselves, you know, once they got older, once the fog lifted of you know, it's fear, obligation, and guilt. Those are some of the tactics someone can use. And it was painful. And one of the lines of lyrics is, you know, I'll forgive you, won't forget you, because my mama said it so. She gave me half my bones. She gave me half my bones. I'll forgive you, you know, and I will always love you, you know. So he gave me half my bones. She gave me half my bones. You know, it's a really, I feel like it's a clever way to write it from the perspective of of children, of, you know, and then once that liberation happens, it's difficult, but you know, you can overcome it. You know, so it's raw and it's like, blah, 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 and we get the double bass drums going in there. And I'm like, whenever I have a drummer coming in, I'm like, you got to be able to play double bass, you know? So yeah, it's really important, Michael. And that's a really great quote, you know, and it's so introspective for you to have these, you know, these moments of inspiration and clarity, right? Of thought. It takes time to sit down with yourself and think these things through. And we're so busy. Aren't we all busy?
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Especially the holidays are coming.
Yeah.
It's like, but you know, I always say this too. I am reluctant to tell people my story because I always say, nobody wants to hear your story. Who wants to hear your story, right? But then I have people say to me, and I haven't really yet to tell my story, but there are people who, once they hear your story, it becomes their survival guide.
Wow.
You know, so just when you don't value yourself and your own who you are and how magnificent your brain and your heart and soul are, if you don't see that, you can't have that confidence, you know, to know that someone else really might be going through it and you are the key to them turning the corner on that.
Wow. Wow.
You know, so I'm ready for a drink.
Oh, boy.
You might have it behind you. I think it's over in the corner. It's in the corner, Sharon, right over there.
Yo, funny.
So we thank you, Sharon, for joining us on today on Four Corners. Thank you for sharing and being transparent about your life and your journey. And of course, more to come, because I heard a book. A book is going to be out. Sharon's going to be telling a book, a tell all about her life. Right, Sharon? You like
that is something that is possibly in the works.
I heard it. I felt it. I felt it in my My bones.
Yeah. Yes.
The survival guide you just spoke about.
Yeah. Half the guide is in the songs that you wrote. So, I mean.
Yes.
So here is Sharon's website. If you would like to go to her website, and social media is the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a rap sheet.
Okay.
We're everywhere. Thank you very much for having me. You are all beautiful souls. I look forward to staying connected and learning more about all of your walks. You know, I mean, it's just so beautiful to be able to exchange. It's like osmosis. You know, even though I'm your guest on your show and I appreciate it so very much, it's still wonderful to meet, you know, such beautiful people. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
well, we'll be looking forward to our next guest as well. December 18th, we have a group called Vertical Current. They have a new Christmas project out. It's phenomenal. You have to check it out. And also, we have our own Pepper Thomas. You have to check out her new project, The House That Pepper Built. Phenomenal project. You all have to hear it.
Oh, yeah.
Download it.
Yeah.
Download it. And last but not least, also download Sharon Lia's EXPANSE. Support the artists. It's important that we support each other. And you will love all these projects. Good Christmas projects also.
Love it.
Yes. And I believe the date is December 17th.
December 17th.
Yes.
Thank you for the correction.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
I'm like, thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Yeah.
So,
December 17th, Vertical Current, 5 o'clock.
You said, I still have one more question for Sharon.
Yes.
Sharon, when are your dates? Do you have any dates coming up soon, or any where somebody can check your band and hear you play live, sing live?
Yeah, we are actually working on that as we speak. We had a little switch over with our drummer. So we are bringing a new drummer on board and getting up to speed, and then we'll be hitting the pavement. So definitely. Thank you for asking about that.
Sounds good. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Mark. You're welcome. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
And we will see
please
you guys.
tell Rick I said hello. Please.
Absolutely. And hopefully I'll see you this weekend in Atlantic City.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so.
We'll be there. So come find us.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you guys for joining us. We will see you on the 17th of December for the last show of 2024. Because 2025 is on its way, whether you want it to be or not.
That's right.
I keep wondering what happened to the summertime. I'm like, what is it? It's gonna be it's about to be Mother's Day? Okay. We're gonna skip over New Year and everything else. But everyone, thank you guys for joining us and have a safe week. Bye.
If you want that inspirational, turn your radios. Sit back, relax, catch the vibe, have fun tonight on the Four Corner Show. Sit back, relax, catch the vibe, have fun tonight on the Four Corner Show. If you want that grounding inspirational, then turn your radio to the Four Corner Show. Hot and spicy topics, come enjoy the show. So let's get personal on the Four Corner Show. Sit back, relax, catch the vibe, have fun tonight on the Four Corner Show. You gotta sit back, relax, catch the vibe, have fun tonight on the Four Corner Show. If you want that inspirational, then turn your radios